Heyo, welcome back to Bloodhaus, the show where we talk about art house horror movies. I'm your host, Joshua Conkel.
And I'm the mayor of Vulcanvania, Drusilla Adeline. Welcome to another week of Bloodhaus, and happy Halloween!
Ooh, spooky Halloween. It's a special
Ghosts
one.
and goblins. It's a very scary double feature because we're going to make you watch some really fucked up movies.
How are you this Halloween season?
I am good. It's feel like a bit more of a low-key Halloween season. Now here a bit on the tail end of it than I had planned going in, but I kind of needed that. I kind of needed the like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, all the monsters take Halloween off kind of season. It's kind of felt great. I mean, exactly what I needed this year was like a couple hangs with friends, went to Not Scary Farm, went to Universal Horror Nights, did those things, did a handful of horror screenings, but it's mostly been like hanging out with friends on the couch, curl up with my girlfriend, and watching like spooky Italian movies. And that's the vibe. That's what I want. That's all I want.
Same here. Just peaceful stuff only. I went to the Toscanzo Gardens pumpkin thing last night. I'm leaving this meeting to make potato salad to take to a Halloween potluck where we will be watching Halloween 1978, Rob Zombie's Halloween, and Halloween 2018, which I'm not sure about.
Two good movies and a bad one. I'll let listeners decide.
Yeah. Anyway, no time to discuss other movies today. We are doing a double feature on a theme as we had established last Halloween, and we'll be doing Halloween. We will be doing on Halloween going forward in perpetuity until we feel like doing otherwise. But yes, two horror movies on a theme. The theme, I guess, is bones.
Bones, kind of cannibalism to a degree.
Yeah.
And this is our highbrow, lowbrow double feature to give you the most of the genre in one sitting. I've been to some highbrow, lowbrow double features, like theatrically. I know like the new Bev did like The Seventh Seal and Bill and Ted. Bogus Journey is a double feature, and I love the flavor and combination. I will say I did watch these movies not in that order.
Me too.
I watched the lowbrow one first. Yeah. But it still works.
Do you remember last year when we first decided to do this? I thought that I invented the idea of highbrow, lowbrow, and you're like, Josh, no. It's like a very common programming thing.
When that Seven Seal Bill and Ted thing was announced, you texted me and were like, should we sue? Like, that's our idea. And I was like, no, that's been done. That's been around. Call your lawyer, have him stop the paperwork.
Well, first things first, highbrow. We are discussing a movie from one of the most highbrow contemporary directors that there is, from 2022, directed by Luca Guadagnino. It is Bones and All.
But you can't spend the night? Not all night. So where'd you move here from anyway? Eastern Shore. Try that.
Dad! You didn't. When the cops get here, you have to be good and gone.
I can't help you anymore. I know it's not your fault. You were born this way. You ate them. I believed you had to. I don't know why.
I smelled you. I didn't know I could do that. I thought I was the only one.
And this is a movie that neither of us had seen until we decided to watch it for the show, right?
Yeah, this like just came out very recently, and we somehow both missed it in theaters. And I don't know what that's about. I think I was a little burned out on Timothée Chalamet, to be entirely honest. And the marketing also didn't feel great. Like,
I thought it was going to be more of a YA movie. Like, I guess I didn't look at the rating or know who the director was, maybe, because I just thought it was like a teeny bopper movie, which it kind of is, but it's more than that, of course.
Yeah, and I couldn't tell if like it was a horror movie or not, or because I I'd heard people be like, oh, it's a super fucked up horror movie, and there's like cannibalism, and then I've heard other people being like, it's not a horror movie, that's stupid. And I was like, okay, whatever. And so I just kind of skipped it, but kept it on my radar. And then Luca Guadagnino's had 2 new movies this year. He's been very prolific and active. And so it kind of like shot back up on my list, and I'm really glad it did. And I'm glad that I watched it in this context. I really loved this movie. So like I was both burned out on Timothée Chalamet. Luca Guadagnino I was kind of hit or miss on, because at the time all I'd seen was Call Me by Your Name, which I loved. His remake of Suspiria, which I didn't care for, but I thought was okay. And his remake of La Piscine, A Bigger Splash, which I hated so much I turned off.
I had no idea he even did that.
Yeah, it's Dakota Johnson and Tilda Swinton, and the guy from Conclave and Harry Potter.
Daniel Radcliffe?
No. Grand Budapest Hotel, English Patient.
Ralph
Fiennes. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a remake
First
of
time hearing of it.
I
love La Piscine.
Yeah, that was like the thing that like put him on the map after I Am Love, but before Call Me by Your Name, that like got him a lot of like contemporary clout. And it wasn't marketed as being a remake of La Piscine. People just figured it out in the theater. I hated it. I turned it off. And so like when Bones and All came out, I was hit or miss on Guadagnino. I was kind of burned out on Timothée Chalamet. And I also I don't like Mark Rylance as an actor. I've found him to be very kind of overrated. And so I was
really
I don't. So like when he was like so highly billed on this, I was like, oh, I don't know, that could be pretty fucking bad. And I heard people comparing it to like Terrence Malick and Badlands, and I don't really like Terrence Malick, but I like Badlands is the one of his I like. So I was like, I don't know, this could go either way. And so having finally watched it, it's now both my favorite Luca Guadagnino movie and definitely Mark Rylance's best performance ever. His performance in this movie is unhinged.
I'm really excited to circle back and talk about Mark Rylance because I have some thoughts about him. I really liked this movie a lot, maybe a little bit less than you. I thought it was really beautiful. I love the cinematography. Always grateful to watch things set in rural America. Sort of like America the Beautiful and getting big landscapes like that. Love the acting from the 2 leads, especially
Taylor Russell is so underrated. Oh my God.
I'd never seen her in my life and I loved her. And I was like, I looked her up because I was like, this girl must be a model because the camera just drinks her up. And she's not. She's from like Netflix's Lost in Space is where she got her start as near as I can tell. I thought she was extraordinary. I loved her. Timothée Chalamet, very good actor. Always enjoy him when he's in a good movie. Sometimes he's not. And yeah, I mean, I really liked it. I have some quibbles. I mean, the 1980s setting, I was like kind of bumping up against. And I was like, it really feels like the 90s to me. I know that they're sticking women with big hair in the background whenever they can. Yeah. And they're playing synth music whenever they can. But this tonally feels like the 90s to me as a 90s teen. And so I looked at it. And sure enough, the novel that this is based on is set in the 90s. And Luca Guadagnino changed it to the 80s.
Yeah.
But that's like a minor thing.
I'm sure he changed it to the 80s because that's when he was the age of these characters.
Yeah.
To have
and
it be
the
a
AIDS
bit more
crisis is like influencing it that way.
Yeah,
it does. He didn't have AIDS in the 90s.
It does feel tonally very much like a 90s story. There's so much of that. Those stories like this were told a lot in the 90s. It was making me think a lot of My Own Private Idaho, and stuff like that.
And there's just a tremendous number of like these road trip movies in the 90s, these sort of like indie or art house road trip movies, and
Natural Born Killers and True Romance, and
it was just in the zeitgeist in the 90s. Yeah,
it was a big deal.
So I thought that. Then I also thought I would have liked it if it had just pumped it up a little bit. I thought this could have been both more violent and gruesome and also hornier and more erotic, because they don't kiss until like 2 hours into the movie. And I was like, I thought they were just friends. Like, truly, I was like, I didn't know that they were a couple until this point in the movie. Like,
your straight jar is so broken, Josh. My God.
It's a little bit of a gripe with this movie and like a lot of contemporary movies. Just like, let's see these characters fuck. Like, sorry, sometimes we do need sex scenes so that I know that the characters are in love.
That wasn't a gripe for me. There's a good bit of eroticism in this movie that I was more than happy with. I'm sure had this movie been made in the 90s, it would have been a bit more eroticized. But again, I was thinking of My Own Private Idaho throughout all of that. And like, I'm sure your memory of My Own Private Idaho is being a pretty sexy movie, right? It's Keanu Reeves and River Phoenix. And what do you remember about the sex scenes from My Own Private Idaho?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Almost nothing.
There's a lot of sex scenes in My Own Private Idaho, except they're done as still lifes. They're like, they like pose as if mid-sex and then just stay there. And then it cuts to another shot of them pose as if mid-sex, and then they stay there.
That sounds cool. I would like to see that.
It's very fucking cool. You should watch it again.
I've only seen it like once, that movie.
I watched that movie religiously in high school. That was very like, I'm straight and cisgender, and I watch My Own Private Idaho all the time for no reason. Definitely don't have a crush on Udo Kier. But that movie, I felt, was like, especially in the 90s when movies were a lot more erotic and sexual than they are now. Very, very intensely erotic and sexual in a way that foregrounded the romantic quality of it first. Especially a movie about hustlers and sex workers that in which like sex is commodified and is like so much part of their daily life that it has to find a way to make it more special and unique between the characters themselves. I really appreciate that. And so I got flashes of that in this. And so it felt satisfying to me on an emotional level between these characters. This is the kind of like dirtbag Midwestern, like teens hit the road shit that I like eat up with a spoon. When I was like first writing screenplays, this is what I wrote.
Yeah, same.
Deeply, deeply satisfied me. And literally, I watched this with my girlfriend, and there's like on-screen cards that denote the like states that they're moving through, which look a lot like screener watermarks, which was like freaking me out for a minute. But literally like 20 minutes of the movie, I turned to Ivory and I was like, I can't wait until they get to Indiana. I hope they get to Indiana. And then like right after we get the Indiana card, and I was like, fuck yeah. And
I was so excited for you.
That's where she meets Chalamet.
Yeah.
I was we get a lot of time in Indiana and Kentucky. We get a lot
in Kentucky. It's not my
Michigan.
Kentucky.
It's not your Kentucky, I know.
No, I'm from Eastern Kentucky, which is like basically a different state. So much so that when people talk about where they're from, they'll say I'm from Eastern Kentucky, or they'll say Kentucky. And so people know the difference. I just think, look, if you're 18 years old and you're hot and you're in love with another hot 18-year-old, you do very little else besides fuck. Like, that's all. And I just needed to know that they were fucking a little earlier.
Well, I think it's also that they aren't fucking until later. I think a lot of their relationship, because she's very skittish, kind of like homeschooled kid.
True.
And this is like first and foremost an emotional, like personal character journey for her. The romance is secondary. There's a reason why like the main goal of the road trip is to find her family and find her mother. And her relationship with him is secondary to that. I don't know.
I think the source material is much more of a straight down the line YA book. I did read that in the finale of the book, she kisses him for the first time and then, spoiler, kills him and eats him. So it's a different ending, and it's like it's tied directly to her kissing him. So it's like more Twilight-ish. Correct me if I'm wrong, listener, but that's what I read on Letterboxd review or something. I don't know where I read that.
I do love the concept of taking a YA book and being like, we're gonna make this an R-rated art house movie.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
awesome.
It's awesome.
That's great, actually, because there's so much overwrought yearning and passion in those like teen YA books that like that's what they're read for. Because when you're fucking like 15 through 17, whatever, and you are like too awkward and afraid to like ask someone out or try and kiss someone, but you have all of these hormones and emotions like raging inside of your body. A book that's all about like describing his hand on a steering wheel and the way the like veins of his hand pop against that, like that's the hottest thing you can fucking read to a 17-year-old.
Yeah.
Like,
I think one of the reasons I'm so drawn to this and to like juvenile delinquent films, and why the truth is that I'm old enough that YA didn't really exist as a category when I was the age to read it. You had like children's books, and then you kind of graduated to adult books immediately. So you would read Blubber and then Carrie and then go back to Judy Blume and then read another Stephen King book. And so it was kind of more chaotic. Kind of the invention of Harry Potter really did invent YA as like a marketing category, and that's when it kind of exploded. So it really didn't exist when I was that age. But with teen stuff, I did feel at the time like this isn't for me, because I didn't have those problems. Like I wasn't a kid who was like, oh, I hope I get an A in math, or like, you know what I mean? I was doing drugs and having sex. I was in a broken home. I was surrounded by crime and substance abuse. And so that's why I'm drawn to like juvenile delinquent films, because that's the experience that I had. And I feel like, I don't know, are the kind of kids that the kind of kids that I was still exist, and there's like nothing for them like there was in the 80s and 90s. And so I appreciate that about this, because it is for them.
No, very much. That's the thing that I love the most about this movie.
Euphoria. Sorry.
Yeah, to a degree, but the kids in Euphoria have money. Like, even like Rue's family, like they're lower class, but they still like, she still goes to the same school as all that. So it's a totally different vibe. I loved how much this movie was like, these characters are constantly on the run. Even when the movie starts out with her and her father, they're still like on the run, living in a trailer with nothing they can't just leave in 3 minutes with. I deeply, deeply, deeply loved that. I like watching them just like be romantic at a little county fair and him sipping Mountain Dew to then go like seduce a carny is like this movie reminds me so much of my teenage years of just
me too.
If you grow up in the Midwest and you are of legal age and you have someone that you're romantically interested in, all you do is drive around in cars and fuck. That's what you do. And then you talk and you have like broken fucking shit about your life, and you're scared to tell that person about that, and you don't know how to deal with those emotions, and so you burst out in anger and all this kind of shit. I really, really loved it, and I loved the portrait of America that this movie paints, and I love the kind of metaphor of this cannibalistic urge as a kind of like deviant otherness, kind of as like a presentation of queer. It's tied to queerness pretty like directly.
Wait a minute, is this movie about being gay?
Are we codifying being gay again? Okay.
Great.
Love it. I mean, like the first time we see her like express this urge is at a slumber party with other girls, and she's like super fucking close to the other girl that looks like they're about to kiss, and then she bites her finger off. And like Timothée Chalamet like only ever see from what we see in the movie cannibalizes men, and it's either fighting them or seducing and fucking them. We also get a cannibal gay couple later on into the movie, one of whom isn't like quote unquote a born cannibal like them, but is like a groupie, and he's like learning to get into it.
I didn't read them as gay, by the way.
You didn't read them as gay?
No.
I read them as a couple. But
One of them is David Gordon Green, by the way.
One of them is David Gordon Green. Yeah.
He's wonderful. Really scary.
Well, Michael Stuhlbarg is the other one from Call Me By Your Name and Shape of Water and Serious Man, stuff like that, who I love. And seeing him play a very scary, like, Midwestern kind of, like, hillbilly guy was, like, a fucking shock. Because he's always, like, sweet, gentle, like, East Coast, like... Jewish intellectual or something like that.
Right.
So it's really fun to see him playing very against it. He was fucking terrifying.
Yeah, they were scary.
I felt a like sexual dynamic to their relationship, even if they're the kind of guys that wouldn't call themselves gay. I felt that, but then I think that there's I know a lot of like dirtbag Midwestern gay guys that are like that. So that's my experience. I don't know. I felt knowing who the director of this movie is, that's what was going on. I was immediately, when they were like sitting around the campfire talking, I was like, Michael Stuhlbarg. And then 5 minutes later, I was like, is that David Gordon Green? Is that the director of The Righteous Gemstones?
Yeah. I think that this movie, this is a crazy thing to say, maybe. I think that this movie loves America. Like, this
Very
is
much
Americana. So. The cinematography, the way that America is filmed is very beautiful. Especially, you and I know this from being from this part of the country. Media is very unkind to rural America, and it often portrays it as really ugly and banal. And you get sort of poor people, dirty interiors here, but they're still filmed beautifully. And then the landscapes are absolutely stunning and sensual almost.
This movie has such a like love and reverence for its characters and its world, and all of them. Like the detail that goes into Mark Rylance's costume design, the house that she meets Mark Rylance at. We get these amazing insert shots when they kill a woman of her life through the photos in her house.
Yeah,
the like it's like Midwestern thrift store chic. The whole movie. It is my heart. It is my home. This is what the world looks like through my eyes a lot of the time. This is normal and comfortable to me. And the like the one thing that I didn't think I would be taking away from watching these two movies together is actual like cross-pollination of ideas. But like these two movies actually have a lot in common when talking about the lower income existence of the Midwest, and the way that is both like seen as horrifying and as like a cozy, comforting home. Because the next movie we're about to talk about kind of like looks at these lives through a funhouse mirror.
I would say that the next movie is actively classist. And I like the movie a lot.
But I think it's also sympathetic to its characters. I do think it is sympathetic to that cause because, like, a lot, like, even though those characters are vilified and presented as the villains, we'll get into it. They do talk about how they have been conned and, like, the land in existence has been ruined by upper class people, like, taking financial advantage of them. And that's true. The town that movie is based on is a real town in Pennsylvania that had coal fires rolling under the surface for fucking years.
Still does, right?
Still does.
Still yeah.
It was also the basis for the town in Silent Hill because it's uninhabitable. Like,
yeah. I love the design of the costumes, as you mentioned. Sully's costume, played by Mark Rylance, is very specific. But I also love the two kids' costumes. Again, they read as very 90s to me and not very 80s.
The acid-washed blue jeans with, like, the knees blown out.
Yeah, and he's wearing, like, a puka shell necklace. She's wearing boots and sunflower dresses a lot, which is very 90s fashion trend.
I love how many like women's tops Timothée Chalamet is wearing throughout this movie.
Yeah, he wears a lot of them, and it makes you wonder, like, did he kill this person and take their top? Like, where did he get this top? Like, it's begging questions, which is good costume design. He looks like the hottest lesbian in Highland Park the whole movie, like with his little his mullet and his like fashion mullet and his oversized jeans with tiny tops.
I think there is a like kind of like in a way that like 80s and 90s probably like would express these in action and not in words like we do in 2024. I do think there is a gender fuck quality to Timothée Chalamet's character that I think is like, there's an androgyny there that I think is really compelling and really, really tender.
And he seems to be somewhat bisexual, right? Like he's seducing men. He seduces
more than
that
somewhat.
Carney.
He doesn't have to fuck that Carney.
No.
When that scene started, he's
so
like
cruel. He doesn't let him come. He kills him before he jizzes, which is like, how rude.
or it's Le Petit Mort. Is that the final? Literally, when that scene started and he was like seducing him and was like meeting him out back, I turned to Ivory and I was like, "Do you think he's gonna eat him before or after he fucks him?" Just to be like, "Oh, because he's obviously gonna kill him immediately." And then, nope, take him into the cornfield.
Yeah.
I love that. I like that's clearly like 100% in his bones, in his character. I mean, the way in which they talk about themselves and their need and desire, and the way their parents talk about them and the way that their siblings talk about them, it really codifies it as being a queer narrative.
Yeah.
The way that her father abandons her and leaves her a cassette tape with kind of like recollections and instructions, basically, that she isn't able to listen to in one sitting, kind of listens to it as the movie goes along. And she listens to kind of the end of it with Timothée Chalamet. And it ends with her dad saying, "I hope you can figure this out. I hope you can get better. And I hope you can like be normal." And she turns it off and is like, "I knew it would end that way. I didn't want it to end that way. I knew it would end with like, you'll figure it out. You'll get better. You'll get normal," rather than this journey that she's gone on of accepting that this is who she is and she can lead a life like this. I've always thought there's a parallel between vampires and queerness or transness, and I love when
I don't think so. I'm just joking. Like, of course,
movies get into that. Like, it's very obvious and apparent and like fun, and I'm a big fan, and I love the like soft tone that this movie had. That like again is reminiscent of like 70s Terrence Malick movies, but with that like kind of like slightly pastel-y hue of the 80s. And then we get a good spattering of gore and like really like shocking editing to kind of like pull us out of that and pulse us through. Also, Jessica Harper has a cameo.
I was going to say, let's talk about the art house bona fides of this movie. Jessica Harper is
Chloe
great in
Sevigny.
this. Chloe Sevigny shows up and is great. And such, I mean, that didn't need to be Chloe Sevigny. You know what I mean? Like, it's such a small role, but I'm always happy to have her. I love her so much. Whenever Jessica Harper shows up, it's such a rare treat. And I guess they know each other because of Suspiria, but I just love her. I love her with my whole heart.
I'm so glad that after, because she has a small part in this Suspiria remake, I'm glad that after that he has kept her working because she's so fucking talented. Why hasn't she been working for years? Literally watching her in this part as like a Midwestern woman who just like lives in Minnesota, hearing her say Bemidji made me very happy. I literally watching that character, I was like, oh, any other director would have cast Allison Janney as this character.
Yeah.
Anyone else, I would have been Allison Janney or someone like that. And then it made me mad because I was like, how many roles has Allison Janney taken away from Jessica Harper over the years? What the fuck?
I loved it so much. I want to talk about Mark Rylance finally.
Please.
So I never heard of Mark Rylance until maybe, I don't know, 15 years ago. I saw a play from London that had transferred to New York called Jerusalem by this playwright, Jez Butterworth, which is a crazy name, but of course he's British. Like, British people have crazy names. So Jez Butterworth's play, Jerusalem, starring Mark Rylance, and he was so phenomenal to me. It's like one of the best theater performances I've ever seen in my entire life. Then I start seeing him in movies. And
Steven Spielberg picked him up for Bridge of Spies and then started putting him in everything.
Yeah. And the only movies I've seen him in, I think, are Don't Look Up and this. And I actually I liked Don't Look Up. I thought it was a fun movie. People really hated it. I feel like his acting is a bit over the top, a bit broad and a bit shallow. And I feel the same way here. except I like it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Some people have
It
commented
works for this
that
character.
it does. People have commented that it feels like he's in a different movie, and I agree. But I also like it. I think
that's good. I think that's intentional.
Yeah, his character makes my skin crawl.
Yeah.
I despise him. I hate his guts. Every time he's on screen, I'm uncomfortable. He talks exactly like the pedophile character from Family Guy. It's called Herbert the Pervert, if you're familiar. He's vile.
Kids.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly how Sully talks.
Sully doesn't want you to go away.
Oh, God.
I got some butterworth in the fridge.
Oh, he's so vile. Disgusting.
But so I worked on Ready Player One as a script intern, and at that point they were trying to get Gene Wilder to play the character that Mark Rylance played in that movie.
Crazy.
This was right before Gene Wilder died.
Gene Wilder was like, "I'd rather die. Goodbye."
But I had seen Bridge of Spies, and I think I saw Dunkirk and stuff like that, and I was like, I don't get this Mark Rylance guy. Like, it really felt like you're trying to make Fetch a thing. I don't get what we're trying to do, putting him in everything. Like, he was the BFG. Like, what? And when he popped up in this, I was like, based on the kind of setup of this movie and based on the like marketing, I kind of expected like, oh, this is gonna be like Luca Guadagnino's Badlands, and Mark Rylance is gonna be playing like the War Notes character. Got it. And like narratively, to a degree, it has that, but it's very different. As soon as he, like, his body language and his little hat and the feather, and he walks up and you realize he's got all those pins down his vest, I was like, oh, we are in for something different.
Gross. His like tank top tucked into his tidy whities, like vile. Just the moment he shows up, the shot of him across the road in the darkness
is terrifying.
Terrifying. It's like Michael Myers showing up.
I think he's also wearing like padding on his butt too.
Yeah, it feels that way. And his like long braid in the back, like, ugh. And the fact that he collects hair. I'm really grossed out by hair. I think when women have hair like down to their waist or whatever, that to me is really ishy. I'm not into it. Like, no Crystal Gale hair for me. I don't like it.
You don't like hair art? How they used to make like little figures and like things out of hair.
That actually.
There we go.
That. But like in New York, if you're on the subway and you have your hand on a pole and some woman like flicks her hair and her hair is touching your knuckles, like that makes me shiver. I don't like it.
That seems very personal. But yeah, as soon as it's the one thing that kind of codifies him as being a fucking serial killer more than anything else in the movie is that he collects the hair.
An 8-foot rope of hair.
I love him being like, you can tug on it. It's not going to break.
I don't want to tug on that. You know that thing smells crazy, too. Like, that is like Texas Chainsaw Massacre level folk art.
Yeah. And you know it's covered in his cum, too. Like, that's fucking like...
Vile.
It's his character is so, like, has such a push-pull relationship because to a degree he is kind of a like father figure stand-in for her a little bit because he's the first other person like her that she's ever met, and he like offers her a home and a meal twice over, and it seems like he's there to help, but like he gives everyone on the earth the ick for a fucking reason, and she like bolts, but she like also like knows how to like treat him because she spent her entire life around like weirdos in the Midwest that she like gets it. She's very kind to him, she's very polite to him, she expresses like, I don't dislike you, I just don't feel like I can trust you right now, and that's my thing, so like I need to go do my own thing for a minute.
Yeah.
Then he calls her fucking cunt.
Yeah. He does actually help her, though. I mean, I don't think his intention is ever to harm her, actually.
Yeah.
Until the end. But there is I did feel quite sad for him ultimately, because there is a scene at the back half of the movie where we find out he's been following her across states for 2 weeks. And he says, "Didn't you ever feel like you just fit with somebody?" And she says, "Yes, but it has to go both ways." So in other words, he's in some way infatuated or in love with her, and it's not reciprocated. And that made me feel sad for him, because he's quite old. You get the sense that he's been alone his entire life, and suddenly he really feels drawn to somebody, and they don't feel the same way about him. And so it just made me feel sad for him. Like, what a lonesome life he must have.
He is a very sad character. And like, based on Guadagnino's work and his comments, and of course he's adapting a like William S. Burroughs movie right now, like of course he's gonna have sympathy for the old pervert with fucking like longing and yearning. Like, that's Burroughs too. Honestly, like the hat without the feather, but the hat and Mark Rylance's like vibe does remind me of William S. Burroughs quite a bit.
Yeah. Who was an old pervert, for sure.
Who was an old pervert. Wasn't a pedophile. That was the other Beats.
Yeah.
That was not Kerouac. That was Ginsberg.
Do we have anything else to say about this?
I think it's really beautiful and really touching, and very quickly, and I realized that this is the Luca Guadagnino movie for me. I want more. I also, the other thing I thought about while watching it was like, oh, this is what that Crow remake thought it was doing.
Oh, I will never watch that movie in 1,000 years. I did feel like I don't know. I just thought of like, there's something happened between Call Me By Your Name, which is so hot and horny, and Challengers, which people said was hot and horny, but really wasn't. I was like, a 90s version of this would be like way dialed up. So I was like, oh, I just wish that this were like a little bit hotter. But that's maybe a me thing.
Yeah. Well, from the sound of things, his next movie is going to be even hotter. Everyone's saying that there's a lot of sex and a lot of dicks in the next one. So
can't wait. Thank you, Luca Guadagnino. Let's play a quick round of Have They Seen It? We'll do like one each.
Yeah.
This person you mentioned earlier, and that's why they're in my head. Daniel Radcliffe, Harry Potter himself.
I did not mention Daniel Radcliffe. You mentioned Daniel Radcliffe, but okay.
No, you didn't know his name, and I said it's Daniel Radcliffe.
It's Ralph Fiennes is who I was talking about.
Oh, yes. Right. Okay. Well, anyways. This is our Harry Potter episode unofficially. We've talked a lot about Harry Potter somehow. So do you think Daniel Radcliffe, who is actually very cool and progressive and talented, do you think
and does not support the fucking heinous hate crimes of his creative forebearer?
No.
Yeah, I think he definitely seen this. I think he has pretty fucking good taste. He and like the Twilight people, Kristen Stewart and Rob Pattinson and stuff like that, have done a really good job of like throwing themselves into the culture and doing really like weird and challenging work after getting their like years of YA money.
Good for them, you know,
and good for them. I would be happy not to see Emma Watson anymore. I don't think she's not a very good actor. She's very disappointing. She's the worst part of Little Women. It's very unfortunate.
Yeah.
But I think he's definitely seen it. I think he enjoyed it quite a bit.
He's dying to work with Luca Guadagnino, don't you think?
Oh my god, dude, do more of that and less movies by the Daniels. Like, I need more people like Daniel Radcliffe in movies where he has to like suck dick and stuff like that. That's what he should be doing. I don't know who his agent is. Someone call up CAA and tell them that Daniel Radcliffe needs to be doing more gay films. Well, speaking of Luca Guadagnino and Timothée Chalamet and Michael Stuhlbarg, your favorite film from him is Call Me By Your Name, with like so much of the cast of this movie. But the one major part of the cast of that movie that isn't in Bones and All isn't in it, probably for a lot of reasons, but mostly because he's not in anything right now because of cannibalism accusations, of all things. Do you think that Armie Hammer has seen Bones and All?
I don't think so. For that very reason, I think he wants to stay away from this topic. I don't know. I feel a little bit bad for him. Is that wrong? I don't know. I don't know much about him. I feel like he's not actually a cannibal.
Well, the
Did he
cannibalism
do anything else?
accusations were like part and parcel with like sexual misconduct allegations.
Oh, okay.
Which like were exacerbated by him talking up a cannibalism kink.
Ooh,
Yeah.
okay. Well,
Which
if
like
he actually hurt people, then fuck him.
yeah. It from reports he was rather like, not great with his female sexual partners to a physical degree.
Oof.
And it kind of got wrapped up in this thing and discussions from these women that like he would talk about cannibalism a lot in a sexual context and talk about wanting to like role play things like that and like
That's
have a
so
kink towards
weird.
that. And they were like, yeah, no, big
Yeah.
fucking no. And you know, especially with like violent tendencies, they were like, yeah, fuck no, we nothing to do with that. And so the like discussion around like he's not anything anymore because he's a cannibal has really like gotten super far afield, but it is rooted in an actual thing.
Got it. I didn't know because I don't follow such things really, and so I didn't know if it was just like this guy just had a kink that he never acted on. But if he harmed people, then fuck him. I don't think he's seen it because yeah. Now I feel super awkward. I should cut all this out. Like I'm defending a monster.
No, I'm about to defend a terrible movie after this, so you're fine.
I'm going to defend that movie too.
Yeah, I don't think he's seen it, but I do feel like he is irrationally angry at Luca and Timothy for doing it. I think he thinks it's about him. I think he hasn't seen it. I don't think he will ever seen it, but I think he thinks it's about him.
That's a good point. I didn't even think about that. I also like Emma Watson. I don't think Armie Hammer is a very good actor. I never thought
He's just rich.
Yeah.
It reminds me of I don't, maybe it's Difficult People or something like that. But like there's a bit of like, is Cate Blanchett good or is she just tall?
She's actually good.
She's actually very good.
Yeah.
And she's tall. But that's how I am with people like Armie Hammer or Rooney Mara or Dakota Johnson, where I'm like, are they good or are they just rich?
Yeah. Armie Hammer, by the way, there's all these reports that he's working as like a tour guide in Hawaii or something because he doesn't have any money from not working. It's like, or he had to sell his Jeep, or I see headlines like this all the time. It's like, isn't he from like Armie Hammer money? Like,
yeah, he's from like old money. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got a fucking trust fund. He's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
No sympathies.
No sympathy. There is the highbrow out of the way. Let's get to the lowbrow. I think we're both really excited to talk about this. This is a movie from 1991, directed by the great Dan Aykroyd. It is, of course, Nothing But Trouble.
Give me the keys, Mike.
Chevy Chase.
Hey, you just passed the Garden State Parkway South.
Don't worry, I'll get you there.
Demi Moore.
Oh, no, cop.
Driver, step outside the car, please.
John Candy.
Read 'em? Yeah, that's nice, thanks. The lower back, please. I got an itch right up in there. It's good, thank you. Not today, sir. This may be Valkenvania, but it is still America. And wouldn't mind, would you just write a ticket here, or we could settle it some other way, perhaps?
That's not the way things work around here.
What is this place?
Revolving District Court for the Village and Shire of Valkenvania is now in order.
Now, I really liked this. I hadn't seen it since it came out, and you had just seen it for the first time too. I wanted to make sure that my memory is correct because I remember seeing this in the theater with my entire family.
Oh my God.
Who loved it. So I was driving back from Washington. I forgot to ask them in Washington. So I asked them from a hotel in Reading on my drive back to LA. And I wrote them and asked them and sent them the trailer. And I got this back from my dad. I remember this movie. We watched it when I was stationed at Bangor Base. I don't know if your mom went, though. She doesn't remember it. In those days, I would take you and Danny to eat, the arcade, or the movies when your mom was doing something else. I would tell you we were going to Canada. I thought this was a comedy cannibal movie called The Bone Stripper or something like that. I remember it as fun back then, but I think this movie will be one of those things best left in the past, like a tub of strawberry ice cream that's been left in the back of the freezer for a few years. Yep, I think House of a Thousand Corpses might be a better investment of 2 hours. But you let me know how the movie is now. Wild that my dad just recommended House of a Thousand Corpses to
Your
me.
dad sounds awesome. I want to hang out with your
awesome.
dad.
This is the man who took me to see Army of Darkness when I was 12 at that theater on the Navy base. So
That's awesome.
yeah, so I was in fact right. We did see this movie. We all loved it.
That's cool.
Yeah, great memory.
I saw it as a kid, but only because my mother is of that like late Gen X era, so she grew up with like 70s SNL, and like when I grew up, it wasn't like kids movies on. It was always like Blazing Saddles and Caddyshack and Blues Brothers and like Vacation and stuff like that. So like as a child, a lot of my favorite actors were Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi and Chevy Chase and stuff like that. And so I remember my mom would always do bits from those movies or Peter Sellers movies all the time. And one of them was Doctor from Spies Like Us, and was like, oh my God, you would love Spies Like Us. It's so good. And would always tell me about it. And then our grocery store sold DVDs for a little while by the checkout in like a bin. Yeah. And one of them for like $1 or $5 or something was a double feature of Spies Like Us with Dan Aykroyd and Chevy Chase, and Nothing But Trouble with Dan Aykroyd and Chevy Chase. And I was like, oh, like I should get this. I've been wanting to see that. And my mom was like, I don't know what this other one is. And she was like, that movie's terrible. She was like, but like, whatever, you don't have to watch it. So don't watch it. You're not going to like it. You won't, like, whatever. And like, I'd also been told the same thing about like The Cable Guy and stuff like that. And I loved The Cable Guy. And so, of course, as soon as my parent tells me not to watch something, I'm like, well, I'm gonna I think I watched Nothing But Trouble first. I just remember being like, nah, I'm into this. This is fun. This is weird.
It's fun.
This is wacky. And then it kept getting darker. And like, I loved Scooby-Doo as a kid. And like, so like all of that I was really into. But like, I didn't like Chevy Chase in this one. It wasn't like Fletch and stuff like that where I enjoyed Chevy Chase. And then like we get to Bobo, a Little Devil and stuff like that. And I was like, and it ends in a really odd place. And the kind of like Kafka-esque ending really got to me as a kid too, in a way that like unsettled me. But it was always something that like stayed in the back of my brain for years of like, that's a thing I watched.
Yeah.
Like I saw that. And so it's kind of had a bit of a resurgence lately, and I got a new Blu-ray again. And so I've been wanting to do it. And so I'm very, very pleased to get it to show my girlfriend, who loves House of a Thousand Corpses and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And yeah, it was a lot more fun than I remember.
Me too. I thought it was more fun too.
I had a great time.
So, quick synopsis. This is written and directed by Dan Aykroyd, who called in a lot of favors, I presume. But Chevy Chase and Demi Moore play two wealthy Manhattanites who have to get to the country on a weekend.
They're going to Atlantic City.
Atlantic City, thank you. They end up in the country. They're not going to the country. And they're for other reasons, there's a ride-along wealthy Brazilian couple in the back seat.
They're not a couple, they're brother and sister. But they really seem like a couple.
I'm getting a lot of details wrong here. They get pulled over by John Candy as a small-town policeman in Vulcanvania, a down-on-its-luck town. And he takes them to his 106-year-old grandfather judge, played by Dan Aykroyd in old age makeup, who, how do you describe this? He lives in a big spooky house. It's like Scooby-Doo and Rocky Horror all combined. And there's a trial, and it's, I don't even know where to go. It's just like so hard to talk about.
They are forced into an immediate overnight trial for running a stop sign.
Yeah.
And they are held captive in this giant trash heap of a mansion where every room is full of like baby doll parts, or
It's a bit like People Under the Stairs meets Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Imagine if the Texas Chainsaw Massacre house had Pee Wee Herman as its interior decorator, and that might like get you kind of close to like the vibe and the tone of this. It's also massive and sprawling. He punishes all like violators in town with death by bone stripper, which is like an amusement park ride outside of his house that literally strips people of their bones. And the Digital Underground also get pulled over,
wild,
and brought in. And basically, he and Demi Moore and their Brazilianaire friends have to escape with their lives from the judge, the corrupt police relatives, two giant like inbred
adult
babies
baby men
in the backyard, and also the judge's granddaughter, also played by John Candy, who has her sights set on Chevy Chase romantically.
I love John Candy's dual performance in this. I love when they're fighting. There's like the wedding, and then Dan Aykroyd says to him, "You'll never have car trouble." Just coming down the stairs. That's one of the lines that like made me howl with laughter.
It's really good. It reminds me of My Cousin Vinny a little bit too.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's very, very, very fun. The other thing that I was thinking about in comparison to this is Texas Chainsaw 2. Which like is like a kind of out and out comedy, but is still very dark. This movie is really weird and zany, but also is very fun. There's all like the main characters are serial killers, like
it's a very mean, dark movie. It's pretty mean spirited.
It's very mean spirited. We should note that like Dan Aykroyd has written a lot of movies. He wrote Ghostbusters, he wrote Blues Brothers, all of those movies. If you talk to anyone involved with them, famously had 700-page phone book scripts that people had to come in and go, okay, so we're throwing all of that out. The police car that the Blues Brothers drive is magic, and here's why. We're going to cut all that out because what? And so this was
a bit of a kook.
He's a bit of a kook, and I love him for that. Love. It was originally called Vulcanvania.
It also had the title Get for a while, like G-I-T, like y'all get.
Which I think is incredible.
A great
actually.
title. Yeah.
It was originally called Vulcanvania. He wanted John Landis to direct it, who had directed a lot of those movies. He thought the script was terrible. And besides, John Landis couldn't get work anyway because he'd killed people, so that's fine. And he wanted Jeff Goldblum as the lead. And
rather than Chevy Chase?
Well, he didn't even consider Chevy Chase. He just kind of wrote this for Jeff Goldblum, from my understanding. And Warner Brothers, this is after The Fly. Crazy. Warner Brothers and Transylvania 65000 and Into the Night and Vibes. And Warner Brothers said, no, he's not a viable lead. This is like 3 years before Jurassic Park. And so they foisted Chevy Chase upon him, who also hated the script, but thought he could like at least get paid a lot of money. He was paid like over $1 million, and to push over Dan Aykroyd because he was his friend. And he let the crew run wild with whatever they wanted to do, and it shows, and it's awesome. The Bone Stripper was the production design department's idea. It was like $42,000 to buy a roller coaster. Everything about this movie is excess and craziness. And when he delivered his final cut, they like screened it at like an out of town preview and got terrible notices. The studio took the movie away from him, retiled it Nothing But Trouble, and cut out all of the gore and horror elements to make it more of a comedy. And that's the only version of the movie that exists, to my knowledge. I really, really wish Dan Aykroyd could reinstate his director's cut, because this movie has so much fascinating, interesting weirdness going on, but it also it takes a while to get to Vulcanvania. Chevy Chase is not a good choice for the lead and clearly doesn't want to be there.
He doesn't want to be there, whereas Demi Moore is like being a good sport and doing the best.
Demi Moore is great in this.
I don't think she is actually. I think it's the writing of her character is so kind of all over the place, and she's making the best of it, and is gorgeous and charming. But
it's more that I think in comparison to Chevy Chase, who was visibly grumpy to be there, I think Demi Moore is like she has so many scenes with the mutant like inbred babies in the junkyard where she's like playing at full tilt, and I'm like, okay, go off.
This movie,
no wonder you did the substance.
This movie is pretty annoying in a way that reminded me of like I went to a midnight screening of the Garbage Pail Kids movie a couple of years ago. I was like, this is the most fucking annoying movie I've ever seen in my entire life. Like it's trying to get on your nerves and is successful in that way. But I in this case, the movie is very funny and I like it. But let's start at the beginning. So Chevy Chase is this wealthy Manhattan guy who writes about banking, I guess, and has a newsletter about banking, which is very Substack before Substack. He's having a big fancy party. He meets his new neighbor in his fancy apartment building, Demi Moore, who needs to borrow his car because she can't afford to rent one, I guess, even though she lives in a giant... I mean, let me just put it this way. Do you understand the first 20 minutes of this movie? Do you understand why they need to get to Atlantic City? What the deal is with Demi Moore and her client? I know that she's a lawyer, but she's also sleeping with him. Do you understand any of that at all? Because I don't, frankly.
Really, it's both longer than it should be and rushed at the same time.
Yes, I agree.
And it's not very well spelled out. It's implied that like Chevy Chase is rich Manhattanite who is like a financial advisor and has a column about it, and he lives his big fabulous life, and he meets Demi Moore in an elevator when he's about to throw a giant party in his penthouse. And she sees a folder he's holding with someone's name on it. And as soon as she sees it, she breaks down crying hysterically and then runs away and then comes back to his party later. And it's like, I think it's implied that she's divorcing this person.
Oh,
or something. That was my read. Or that she's going through a breakup with this person. And then that person is going to be giving a keynote address at a conference in Atlantic City, and she wants to go confront this person. So she asks Chevy Chase if he's planning on going, and he's like, no, the guy's a blowhard. I fucking hate him. And she's like, okay, cool. Well, then I can take your car, which is an insane thing to say, and take it to Atlantic City. And he wants to fuck her. So he's like, nah, I'll go with you.
I'll drive you. All right, so then this annoying Brazilian brother-sister decide to tag along.
Played by Taylor Negron and Bertilla Damas. Who
Taylor Negron, one of the great that guys.
Very, very much so. When I first saw this movie, I thought they were very annoying. And they are pretty annoying in the car, because they
never stopped speaking.
Yeah, and they like goat Chevy Chase into like trying to like get away from John Candy's cop on the road in a really insufferable way. But once they get to the judge's house, I think they're very funny. I love the like, oh, it smells like Sao Paulo. It's toxics. It's toxics.
Don't make me swim through toxics.
Just keep your mouth closed. I think they're very funny. I love that like they get a happy ending.
Yeah. I love the dinner scene when they first get to Vulcanvania, and he serves them these nasty sausages, and also the ants on a log makes me laugh so much because it reminds me of like when you go to grandma's house when you're a little kid and she has old cookbooks from the 50s and 60s, and they're just full of those like Amy Sedaris crazy campy recipes that I guess at one time were normal in the days when they used to put meat inside of gelatin or whatever.
There is a big Jello mold on the table too. My mom would make ants on a log as like a
it feels
weekend
like
afternoon snack. Yeah, it's like for children.
It's so funny.
When I was watching this with Ivory, she was like doing some work and then just like kept getting pulled into the movie. And when the dinner scene came up, she was just like, started, she was like, oh my god, that table is amazing. Holy shit, what the fuck? This is so cool. And it's like, this table is about to get 10 times better
Yeah.
when it drops out and a little train goes around with condiments.
Condiments.
Also, we need to mention that the dogs, the hot dogs, are served on just one slice of white bread as the bun.
Which is how we ate them a lot of times when I
Yeah.
was a kid.
Yeah, like that's very much the like Midwestern Southern like broke hot dog bun. Like,
Yeah. It's
the
vile. I mean, his
the way
character's
he like,
106 years
shakes,
old. Yeah.
like
Yeah.
breaking this
Watching-
flopping gray sausage to his mouth.
Blah. It's so gross. It's like very greasy strangler.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
You gotta
And,
fix up
yeah.
your dogs like I do.
And he has a little nose that's like later revealed to be just like a fake nose that he wears during the day, and it's shaped like a little dick, basically.
Throughout the movie, it changes shape frequently.
Yeah.
And in some shots, it's more of a penis than others. And it's so funny. I deeply love it. I think it's great. I could spend another 2 hours in this house. If this movie,
the house is the best part of the movie.
if this movie, I mean, it's kind of an old dark house plot, right?
Yeah.
But
yeah,
like with a Kafka-esque like bureaucratic nightmare thrown on top of it. If this movie was like they never leave the house, they never like there's no like mutant babies in the backyard. If it's just
I kind of
them,
like them too. I have to stick up for the mutant baby men. I kind of like them in a weird way.
they're the most grating to me in this movie.
They're very grating.
And it's also played by Dan Aykroyd. One of them's played by Dan Aykroyd. And because he wanted Chris Farley to play one of them, and Lorne Michaels wouldn't let him out of his contract.
Thank goodness for that. Chris Farley doesn't need to do this. Come on.
No.
Have some, it's hard enough having dignity as a big fat man who's a comedian. You don't have to dress like a baby.
But Dan Aykroyd directed on set as a baby, so I don't know.
There's another line that made me howl with laughter because it's so specific. It's when they first introduced John Candy as the daughter, who doesn't speak, and Dan Aykroyd is like, "Don't you worry about her. She was struck dumb. She was struck dumb by a thunderclap on the day she was born."
Struck dumb by a thunderclap. There she was born.
Struck dumb by a thunderclap on the day she was born is so funny to me. It feels like it's from a Tennessee Williams play or something. It just feels like
the dialogue in this movie is great.
It's very.
What
funny.
does he call cigarettes? Like.
Oh God.
Like rocket dogs.
Rocket dog. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, it's clearly all weird little colloquialisms he's just picked up over the years and just crammed into this one script. They're so fun and so weird. The movie is a mess to a degree.
Yes.
There is a really kind of good Elio Petri Kafka kind of like twist ending. That I love. It makes no sense.
It's kind of scary.
It's very scary, and I kind of wish that it's like bit more into that. It's very clearly this is a movie that's been re-edited to hell. And I'm sure there's a lot more there. There's such a like Dr. Phibes quality to the house too. There's like levers and pulleys everywhere. There's what honestly maybe my favorite set piece in this is Chevy Chase and Demi Moore are woken up in bed with the bed just spinning.
Yeah.
And then they just have to like trying to find their way out of the house, and like they find a door that's like a tombstone inside with like a relative that just says forgot to duck, and that's supposed to pay off at some point, and then it never does.
It doesn't. Yeah.
Like there's clearly supposed to be like some like that never pays off, and like there's a room just full of bats and a mountain of like bat shit.
Guana, they say.
yeah. She says, Chevy Chase has the great quip of like, oh, the bat room. And then like the like fucking like wall slams in at them, and then they keep finding hidden passageways into other rooms and like into the attic and stuff like that. And they find out that like
they find Jimmy Hoffa's driver's license.
All of that stuff is like the magic of this movie. All of like
I loved
that,
all
the
of that.
production design, like the weird yard, the amount of shit they blow up in the end of this movie.
How about the cameo by Digital Underground in this big screen premiere of Tupac Shakur looking as hot as he
one of the
always
most
did.
charming parts of this movie. It's delightful. And it's at that point at which it starts to make Dan Aykroyd's judge sympathetic.
Because he likes their musical performance.
Yeah, because he likes them, and he says they get to live for contributing to society, contributing like to the culture and stuff like that. Because you kind of have this assumption when Digital Underground walks in that you're like, oh, this incredibly draconian fucking like evil hillbilly judge is gonna be like racist and bigoted and stuff like that. And then you're like, oh no, he just doesn't like bankers.
Yeah.
And
who
or
does?
drug users or whatever.
Yeah. So this really captures this moment and like a very specific moment in time, because in 1991 we've just had the Humpty Dance was like a huge hit that has now pretty much been forgotten, although I listen to it pretty frequently. I love that song. And so Humpty Hump, who you see here with the fake Groucho nose and the fake voice, was like a persona or like a character put on by this rapper Shock G, who has this whole other career as like an amazing songwriter and rapper. And this was like a weird character that he did briefly, but it's like one of Digital Underground's, who are still together, by the way, have been together for decades with like a rotating cast. Their biggest hit is the Humpty Dance by this funny side character that just got made up. So it's like a very specific moment. I was wondering what happened to Shock G, and he died in 2021 of an overdose, unfortunately.
Oh no, that's so sad. It is both impressive and sad that Tupac's film career is so short.
Well, his life was so short.
He clearly is a star. He's like hiding on the edge of the frame through a lot of this movie, but the camera fucking loves him because he's gorgeous.
He's gorgeous.
But it's so weird to think that a year after this, he'd be like the lead in Juice.
Yeah.
And he was supposed to be the lead in Menace to Society, but he and the Hughes brothers had a falling out. And then, we got Poetic Justice and like maybe one or two others, and that was it. But like the fact that he's like barely a cameo in this and then immediately became like a massive star within months is really, really, really impressive. And it just goes to show like the amount of talent that he had. And like I love the musical number with Digital Underground so much, and Dan Aykroyd joining in to play with them.
Yeah, it's so good.
But then it keeps like getting bumped down by cutting to Chevy Chase just like scowling and looking unhappy like the whole time of like, dude, you're like Chevy Chase is such a miserable fuck, but like you gotta work with Tupac, dude. Like
Chevy Chase bums me out because he is so talented and so funny, and so often it's like, you don't have to work if you don't want to. Like, I assume that you're wealthy enough. Like, that whole Community debacle. It's like, don't be on the show if you don't want to be on the show. Like, don't waste anyone's time, It just really bums me out when actors are like that.
He's very talented and very funny. Like, his original, like, SNL work is so good. Like, Land Shark.
I love those Lampoon movies. Those National Lampoon movies.
Yeah, Vacation is incredible. I love Three Amigos. I love the Fletch movies.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that he honestly the only like actual quality turn that he did after this, I think, is in Norm Macdonald's Dirty Work, because I think he like hadn't
seen it,
like was friends with Norm Macdonald and had that kindred spirit. But like I miss the days in which like Chevy Chase could be like a Neil Simon romantic lead against Goldie Hawn in something like Foul Play. Or Seems Like Old Times. Like he like actually put effort into it. Though it is insane to think that he immediately followed up Nothing But Trouble with trying to be seen as a straight dramatic actor after this in John Carpenter's Memoirs of an Invisible Man.
Oh God, I forgot all about that.
Which still kind of is a comedy.
Do you know who would have been good in this instead from SNL? Is Steve Martin would have been good.
Steve Martin would have been great. I know Rick Moranis was also shortlisted for the role if Chevy Chase said no.
I don't think he's right for this because he's so lovable and like sweet. I don't
Yeah.
know if he would have been good.
I think you do need someone who's a little bit more likable, which I think Goldblum or even Steve Martin would have been a good choice because like he's like a banker and he's banker. He's a financial advisor and he's kind of like a smarmy yuppie piece of shit at the beginning of the movie. And
but I think you want somebody who's like rakish and handsome and like
you need
Rick
someone
Moranis type to me.
Yeah, you need someone who's like you need to like buy into the romantic plot of him and Demi Moore, which this movie forgets about entirely, despite the fact that the title comes from it.
You could go with like a Pierce Brosnan type as well, or like a Hugh Grant. Not Hugh Grant because he was too young at this time, but like that type, like charming, debonair.
Someone at Warner Brothers thought that was Chevy Chase for some reason. And Chevy Chase kind of did those roles in the late 70s.
Yeah.
But like it had been a long time since he's also like he's graying in Nothing But Trouble quite a bit, and he's clearly unhappy to be there. And he brings the mood down entirely. And it's really, really unfortunate. I honestly, had it been Jeff Goldblum, and had it like been able to get more of a horror tone out of it, I think it would be a lot more successful. And like it probably wouldn't have done super well, but it probably would have more of a cult status.
This is a pretty infamous movie. It didn't do well, obviously.
It has a
How Did This Get Made episode. If it has an How Did This Get Made episode about it, it's something else.
This kind of has the cultural view of being like Troll 2, Garbage Pail Kids. It's viewed to be kind of in that stratosphere. I don't think it deserves that in any way, shape, or form. There's a lot of movies from the 80s and 90s that I feel like have had their like cultural comeuppance of late, of like reassessment, and some of those we take a look back and they're like better than we ever could have imagined. Like Heaven's Gate is actually like genuinely amazing, or Elm Street 2 and Halloween 3 are like have interesting things about them, but they're not the lost masterpieces that people talk about them are.
Yeah.
And then I think Nothing But Trouble is somewhere in between there. We're like,
right. It's not it's not a so bad it's good movie. It is actually, there's a lot that's good about it. It's an imperfect, messy, mixed bag of successes and failures. It's complicated.
Yeah. I honestly I know there's people out there that are like dying to see Jerry Lewis's Holocaust movie, The Day the Clown Cried, and stuff like that.
Dying to see that. I'm one of them.
I would like to see it also, but if I had the choice of like the Lost film, I would be between like Dan Aykroyd's director's cut of Vulcanvania or Orson Welles' cut of Magnificent Ambersons. It would be really hard for me to choose, which is really shameful to say. I would want both, obviously, but like I want to see it. I want to know.
Yeah.
It's fascinating. Again, like we're talking about the bones and all, I do think the way this movie looks at its kind of Pennsylvania folk is both grotesquely but also kind of sympathetically. I don't think it's as like classist as you think it is. But I do think there's something interesting in the fact that for the longest time in this movie, it is kind of presented as an Eat the Rich movie. Almost like we were talking about with Funny Games last week, where like Chevy Chase is the rich guy from New York City and he's coming into this rural backwater and they're going to enact revenge because out of like a classist revenge against him. And
but I feel like that's presented as like something from the old world, right? Like it's like sort of old and throwbacky that this man hates bankers, because that's not how people feel in the 80s and 90s in general.
Exactly.
It's like people don't talk about class at all at that time. So to me, this movie is very misanthropic. It really just hates everybody. And
Yes, it
and I
does.
say that not as a judgment of the movie. It's a value neutral observation of the movie. It just is in those are the waters of this movie. It just hates people. It's making fun of everybody. It's a mean-spirited movie.
It's
and
just
I think
interesting
it's funny and I like it.
that the character has that class divide through the whole film. And so, of course, from that, Chevy Chase escaping this scenario then assumes, like, I am a man of means, let me go to the authorities and I will have this taken care of, only to find out that this man is like buddy with the like local legislature
state.
and FBI.
Yeah.
Like, they've been aware of his activities for years and like condone it.
And then the other twist ending when he's back safe in Manhattan and watching the news, and then there's
which
Dan
is a hat
Aykroyd
on a hat, personally.
It is a hat on a hat, but I like it too. It's so crazy that he's like, nope, and then there's like a Chevy Chase shaped hole in the wall. Like
I love a
cartoon.
Looney Tunes cartoon shape. They do that in It's a Mad World also, and I love it.
It's so wild and
No,
funny.
you won't.
I like this movie a lot. I thought it was really funny, and yeah, I mean, I don't have anything else to say about it.
Someone give Dan Aykroyd another $40 million to make another movie.
Today.
Do it.
We need it. It's time. Let's do a quick have they seen it for this. You mentioned them earlier. That's why they're in my head. Do you think the Daniels saw this? It feels like a movie they would like.
Oh, yeah. I definitely think the Daniels have seen this. I feel like this, as much as I want to champion this movie and as much as I don't like them.
You don't like them?
I don't like them. I did not see Everything Everywhere All at Once, but I did see Swiss Army Man, and I hated it so much.
I've never seen that, but I really liked Everything Everywhere All at Once. I thought it was really fun and lovely.
If a movie makes me so mad to a degree, I will refuse to see anything else by that filmmaker.
Wow.
And it made me that mad.
But I don't think you can make a farting corpse movie without having seen Nothing But Trouble.
Exactly. So yes, absolutely. I think they've seen it, and I think they're on. Again, for not liking their work, I'm sure I would get along with them very well. We probably have a lot of things in common other than the fact that their work is bad. Like, I definitely think they've seen it, and I think they're huge admirers of it. I think they might help fund a restoration in the complete version. Okay. This is someone that's worked with Dan Aykroyd a lot over the years. And someone that I have a very high opinion of, because he has incredible musical taste. I think he's a very charming leading man. He maybe could have been better than Chevy Chase in this. And he I like his politics a lot too. I don't know. I think he's a delight. Do you think John Cusack has seen Nothing But Trouble?
I think so.
Would John Cusack be better than Chevy Chase in this? Probably too young.
Too young at that time.
In 91, yeah.
But yes, yeah. He's closer to Demi Moore's age, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
There's a big age difference. Don't tell age gap Twitter.
I just like... I love John Cusack. He's just like a big fan of the people he's a fan of, and like when he got to like produce his first movie with Grosse Point Blank, he was like, I want to get all the people I love into one movie, so I want Joe Strummer to do the score, and I want Alan Arkish to be in it, and I want Dan Aykroyd to be in it. The fact that he like was like, no, I think Dan Aykroyd should be in my movie, and I think he should improvise and say bing bang boom popcorn and ooh mental telepathy. Is great. Is genius. I think it's great.
I think he's seen this. I don't think Joan has seen it, who I love too.
Yeah, I think he came home from a Chicago video store with this, and she was like coming over for the evening to like have dinner with him, and he's like, "Do you want to watch Nothing But Trouble?" And she was like, "Not again." One final one, just really quick, because I forgot he's in this movie. Did you know that Dan Aykroyd is in Tamra Davis's Crossroads? And do you think that Britney Spears has seen Nothing But Trouble?
Yes, actually, I do think she has. I feel like she would love this movie, don't you? I bet she like loves fart jokes and like, don't you think?
Yeah, I'll bet if Britney Spears did like Letterboxd like 4 favorites, I'll bet this wouldn't pop up on her list, but I'll bet Fletch Lives does or something like that.
Totally.
Where you're like, what?
She would love that dinner scene in Nothing But Trouble. Like she would have a blast with that. I just see her watching that chewing gum. I think she'd be into it.
Honestly, let's get the director's cut of this going, and let's get Britney Spears to do an academic commentary track on it.
Brilliant.
Let's it'll sell 1 million copies. Put her face on the box.
So that is it for this Halloween episode of Bloodhaus. Thank you so much for listening. Please rate it wherever you listen to podcasts. You can follow us. Not on Twitter anymore. I guess Instagram is it. Maybe we'll start a Blue Sky for the show. But
we will post on Instagram more, I promise.
Yeah. Drusilla, where are you?
You can find me on my website, sisterhidedesign.com. There's a bunch of stuff over there. A lot of new work, so go check that out. And you can also follow me on Twitter if you look for Sister Hyde. My stuff's up there. And you can follow me on Letterboxd if you look for Drusilla Adeline or Sister Hyde, and you can see shamefully how many Chevy Chase movies I've logged of late. Josh, what about you? How can people find out? Yeah.
I am at Joshua Conkel on Blue Sky, Letterboxd, and Instagram. What are we watching next week?
Next week, we will be watching a movie that, no matter what it is, will be widely considered to be better than Nothing But Trouble. So you're welcome for that. Next week, we'll be watching a remake of an iconic 80s horror piece of sleaze that has been updated for the 20th century and has taken quite a few shifts and changes in that mode, and stars someone that we haven't had on the show as an actor, but we have had on the show as a producer of Mandy and a few others. We will be watching the remake of Maniac.
Can't wait. And happy Halloween, everybody. Thank you so much. See you next week. Bye.